Well, as the international community looks to the South Pole for oils and minerals, scientists fear that too little is being done to make sure the frozen planet is used for scientific purposes only. So what needs to be done to protect its future, and is New Zealand pulling its weight when it comes to Antarctica? Mary Sewell is a marine biologist at Auckland University and she is with us now. Are we pulling our weight?
Well, it's this article that is coming out today has got authors from New Zealand, so we obviously are part of the international scientific community that's involved in trying to do something to make sure that Antarctica remains as a sort of pristine area for science and as a peaceful place. You know.
What would you like policymakers to do? What are you trying to achieve out of this?
Well, the scientists are giving a lot of warnings about all of the threats that are being imposed on Antarctica, including, of course, climate change, fishing and potential for resource use. And we would really like sort of uptake from policy and at the national and international level to actually do something to make sure that it is safe for the future.
Why do you not think there has been any uptake so far? Why is this taking a while, or why is this a slow process?
I think partly it's a perception that because Antarctica is so far away and most people don't have a lot of contact with it, that it is safe from the ravages of the climate change and fishing and all those resource pressures. And of course the treaty has been in place, which was designed to protect Antarctica, but there are some threats that we need to deal with like right now, and that's what we would like to happen.
This treaty, who signed on to that? I mean, New Zealand's part of it, but not all countries are they?
No, so the treaty came into effect after the International Geophysical Year of 1957. So the treaty was originally signed in 1959, and there were the 12 countries that were originally part of that International Geophysical Year that were part of that. Another 16 countries have signed onto that and are part of the consultative committee, and there are another I think there's a total of 43 countries that are currently signatories, but not all of them have voting rights at the meetings.
What does it mean when you sign on to the treaty? What does that, how does it protect Antarctica?
Well, you're signing on to the principles and including the protocols for environmental protection, which include no resource mining until for the next 50 years at least.
If policymakers don't take up this challenge that you're setting for them, what could the outcome be if it doesn't go ahead?
Well, we could lose, you know, a lot of what has been special about Antarctica, and having visited it myself many times, it's an incredibly beautiful place, and it would be very sad to see it subject to you know, resource taking on a greater scale than it is now.
Well, Mary Sewell, thank you for joining us this morning, and good luck with that.
This update is brought to you by ANZ, proud sponsor of the New Zealand Olympic team.
The government's being warned that Antarctica is under serious threat from human exploitation, putting entire species at risk.
Scientists and conservationists have released an international report that says countries protecting the area are too slow to react to threats from mining, fishing and tourism. Renee Graham reports.
Peter Young is working on a documentary about fishing in the Ross Sea around Antarctica. He says New Zealand policy is making its pristine waters murky.
At the moment, New Zealand is supporting exploitation.
A team of 26 international experts are warning governments around the world Antarctica's environment is under increasing threat. They fear commercial fishing will wipe out the species that feed penguins, seals or orca, and climate change is causing oceans to become acidic and the ice to melt faster.
At stake is the well-being of the human race. Antarctica drives so many things in our planet. Weather patterns, climate.
New Zealand's Foreign Affairs and Trade Ministry plays a key role in the Antarctic Treaty System, where 50 countries are charged with the protection of the continent. But scientists are concerned they'll be too slow to react to new pressures like mass tourism or an end to the ban on mining.
It's a bit of a cosy club. the diplomats don't really push the boundaries that much.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade says we're always wanting to do things faster, but with 50 parties involved in the treaty system, we're always going to have to work in a way that brings everybody along with us.
It would be nice if New Zealand could play a lead role in pushing forward some of the things that the scientists have been asking for.
MFAT says New Zealand is playing a leading role in Antarctica's protection, one way by managing the Ross Sea fisheries. It wants to turn parts of the sea into the world's largest marine reserve. Renee Graham, One News.
This One News update is brought to you by ANZ, proud sponsor of the New Zealand Olympic team.